No.
Yep. All right, we all ready? My name's Elliot. I'm going to be talking to you all about customer service because it's one of my passions, and I've had many people say I'm good at it. Some of the definitions of it. What would you guys define customer service as? Ignore what's on the screen. What would you guys personally define customer service?
Meeting customers' needs.
Talking to people, yeah. That's the grossest part about it.
Customer service voice needs to be perfected.
Oh yeah, you gotta perfect the complete a-hole voice versus your customer voice. All right, anyone else have examples of what they think customer service is? No? All right, the definitions of customer service would be meeting customer needs. When you're effective at customer service, if you have good communication with your customers, whether it's be in the food service industry or in the automotive industry, you have to keep in consistent communication. There's also professionalism and respect. If you don't respect your customers, don't expect them to respect you back. More than often than not, if there's no respect outwards, you don't receive respect back. And then you also, having good customer service is the foundation of good business and business success. Some of the key principles of customer service is clear communication, active listening, empathy, and responsiveness. I can't even read my own handwriting. Wow. Clear communication. That is, like I said earlier, one of the most important things that you need to have when you're running a business, if you're working in like a 9-to-5 food service, if you're doing even daily conversations with people who might be your future customers. Have clear communication, get your point across without, sometimes you have to get your point across without using too many words. Active listening. Try and be able to listen to what the customer is saying while still understanding where they're coming from, which ties into empathy, as well as allows you to have the proper response. And then responsiveness. Giving good responses that sometimes you won't always meet what the customer wants in your responses. It still is necessary to sometimes, emphasis on the sometimes, give them the response they want. Because if you respond with something that is drastic, like say a customer calls you and it's just like, hey, I have a 2002 Explorer that is having this issue. What could the range of cost be, and how much would it, what could the problem be? Sometimes if you don't tell them what they're expecting to hear or hoping to hear, you might lose a customer. And if you lose a customer, you kind of lose business, which is necessary. Having good impact when it comes to customer service. You keep customer retention, which essentially everybody knows what customer retention is. When customers come back to you, that counts as customer retention. Having your brand reputation up. If you don't have a good brand reputation, I've experienced this in my clothing brand that I ran a couple years ago. Not having a proper reputation with your brand can affect how many sales you make, what you get, how the customers see your brand, and different things like that. Having revenue growth also is a massive thing that gets affected by customer service. If you're you don't have good customer service employees, or you don't have good customer service as the manager of your business, you ain't gonna be bringing in money, which is something that is kind of necessary, which is retarded, but we don't talk about that. Some of the common challenges is managing difficult customers. Who has an example of managing a difficult customer?
I got you, bro. There used to be, well, I guess there's this group of, it was an old couple that used to come into this restaurant, and if you didn't have their table reserved in the right spot, because they would never make a reservation, but they would always like have a standing reservation. But if they weren't in that exact table, it was an absolute hell night. And not taking care of them in that way was probably the most important thing about making the night go smooth. Because if you didn't do that, then you're gonna have a bad night.
Oh yeah, I know a few people like that back home.
I had someone throw, this was way back working at the grocery store when I was like 14. I had some guy throw quarters at the cashier because he was trying to steal a gallon of milk. Which is just the weird thing to throw things at people for. I don't understand why. That was
People
fun.
are weird.
That was really
I don't understand people.
Oh, that one was strange.
But God pulled out a gun on me because we ran out of ranch.
What?
Yeah, I worked at McDonald's.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
I
Alright.
was gonna say one, but I don't think it's
What's that?
I had a gentleman get mad because the store app said we had a product in stock, but the app doesn't update till another 24 hours. So we were completely out, and he wanted to set the fact that we didn't have it in stock.
That's always fun. Alright, one last.
I was just saying, any holiday when I worked at Target was just always miserable. You just have, especially like around this time of year, Black Friday,
Oh yeah,
Thanksgiving, and
Black
Christmas.
Friday is crazy.
I don't even, you won't see me. I'll be in the back.
That's understandable. Managing difficult customers, oftentimes how I would do it when I worked at the pizza place back home, if a customer came in and was kind of being a jerk to me, I wish I could do that. I would get in trouble though and lose that job. And don't get me wrong, there were several that I wanted to. Oftentimes, what I would do is I would try and hear what they're saying and then try and fix it myself. If I couldn't fix it myself, I'd go to my manager. And I wish I could have done that with my clothing brand. I had a few people email me complaining about the delivery time. It wasn't in my control. Communicating complex information, that word. Oftentimes, when you're trying to deal with a customer and you have to explain something to them, sometimes the information is a bit, like for a technician side, the information can be a bit more difficult for them to understand. Say they're just some everyday average Joe who doesn't know anything about vehicles. Sometimes you have to kind of dumb it down to kindergarten level for them to understand what you're trying to say. And then tailoring service strategies. Using the same strategy for every single person that you meet isn't gonna work. There's different people have different personalities, they have different ways of communication, they have different price ranges that they're able to afford. What you wanna do is, if you have a specific niche, like light duty diesel, specifically target it towards, I did not want to move forward yet. Target it towards the people who kind of have a bit of knowledge, because most people who own light duty diesel pickups or even small vehicles that have a diesel engine in them, more often than not, they'll have a mild understanding of what everything is. So you'll be able to communicate with them with a bit more complicated words that normal people like your grandma would not understand. Some of the good examples of customer service would be retail, which I know several of us probably have worked that in high school or even part-time during their adult lives. Hospitality, that I'd categorize that around food or working at like a hotel or something. Hospitality, you kind of want to welcome the customer in, allow them to have good vibes in the store or in the area. Technical customer support, that would be more so your mechanic shops, which is what we're learning about in this class. And then professional services, that would be more so something like, I almost want to say freelance work, but it's more so like building a customer service around broker, being a, what's the word? Stockbroker or something along those lines. That would allow you, that would be what I'd consider under professional services. Then there's the communicating technical issues with customers. You have to be clear in your communication. It doesn't matter what it is, if they have more knowledge than someone else. Whatever the case is, you have to be clear about what you are getting info-wise towards the person. If they aren't seeming to understand it, kind of describe it to them a bit more simple. If they're understanding it, you can just spitfire off different things that need work, give them a price range for each thing, or if you did it in bulk, maybe if they had you do, say, an engine rebuild plus a turbo replacement. Maybe if you're at the point in a shop you can afford it, maybe offer them a bit of a discount for doing everything at once rather than doing it at separate different times. And then building a customer's confidence. That would entail talking to them, kind of helping them to feel like they are actually smart, not making them feel stupid, like over explaining something. Explain something in a way that it makes them feel like they know what you're talking about and that they can understand where you're coming from as the technician or as the manager. There's one of the biggest aspects that a lot of people struggle with is problem solving. Why do you think that is?
It's hard. People just give up.
Yeah, people do oftentimes give up. A lot of the times, some of the best ways of problem solving is, like the first bullet point, addressing the customer's concerns. If the customer is concerned about a ticking noise in their engine, address them, ask them little minute details about it that might help you get a kind of rough estimate of what could be the issue and how you would solve it. Conflict resolution skills, that takes time and practice to get to. If you aren't to the point where I'm breaking things apparently. I don't know how to work these things. Come on. Go back to where I want. Some of the conflict resolutions, sometimes you can't resolve it yourself. Sometimes you have to go to a manager to ask for help. And then maintaining professionalism. If a customer is coming at you screaming, that doesn't mean you get to scream back at them. I know it sucks, but that doesn't mean that you can scream back at them or cuss them out or whatever it may be, just because they're angry at you for messing up a fix or something like that, or taking longer than you were supposed to. Active listening is a huge thing when it comes to customer service, because it helps you kind of learn where the customer's helps you figure out what the issue could be, and helps you figure out kind of their price range if it comes up in the conversation. Empathy is insanely important because you don't know if the customer has had a really crappy day before coming in, and all of a sudden their car breaks down and they need you to fix it. If that happens, they ain't gonna be coming in with all happy with like, I just woke up, had an amazing cup of coffee, had a great day at work. They're gonna feel like absolute crap. Enhanced customer satisfaction. That's one thing that I didn't do a whole lot of research in. I know it's necessary because customer satisfaction is a huge thing in customer service. But like I said, I didn't do much research into it. I just know that it's essential. Then delivering consistent quality. If you're not consistent with the quality of your work, people won't come back to you. No matter whether it's in food industry, whether it's in clothing, whether it's mechanic work, people won't come back to you if you aren't providing same quality products or same quality results. Consistent communication, like I said when mentioning the communication, that is absolutely necessary for consistent, keeping good quality. And as I said at the start, high service quality. Effective follow-up. That is something that will help you learn where you could improve. It will help you learn where you can grow in running the business and where you can make more money. And I mean, come on, we're all in business class so we can make money. Leveraging feedback. Having consistent feedback from customers, or having a place where people can leave feedback, that'll help you learn, like with the follow-up, learn where you can improve, learn different things like that. Analyzing feedback data. Nowadays we have a bunch of technology that can help us, like ChatGPT or Google AI or different things like that. And then implementing the improvements. If you get, say, one of your service reps isn't communicating properly, try and help them learn how to communicate properly and help them learn to have better talks with the customer to help them learn more, help them build it to where the tech has a little less work that he has to figure out. Embracing technology. We live in a world where it's a crap ton of technology, no matter what. We have insane computers in our pockets. There's softwares that we can use for our customer management. Whether it's a website where we can have the customers go to book appointments, whether it's like not old-fashioned, but old-fashioned Yelp to get reviews. There's a bunch of digital processes that can help you grow your customer base and grow your business, as well as digital communication. A lot of people use Instagram or Facebook or email lists where they will reach out to customers, help them grow their customer base, help them learn more about people and their general vicinity. That's it for my presentation. Any questions? What's up?
So, oh, I forgot.
Good job, you're hired. Favorite place I've worked would have to be either Deer Park Diesel or the pizza place back home. Because I love the customer service with the pizza place, but I love working with my hands at the diesel shop. What's up, Jess?
You mentioned a clothing brand. Did you work for a clothing brand?
I ran one for a solid about 1.5 to 2 years, and then prices went up.
What clothing brand was it?
It was called Crossthreads. It was a Christian-based clothing brand to kind of spread the word of God in just subtle ways.
Amen.
What's up?
Yeah, I used to work at Pit Pipers, bro. You
Huh?
ever heard of Pit Pipers?
No, I have not.
It's a pizza place.
Okay, I'll have to look them up.
They got fire pizza.
I'll have to try 'em.
The crust. Talk about that crust is crunchy.
What's up, Cam?
How do you plan to implement this in future jobs?
In future jobs, I plan on taking the info that I learned and using it in a way to where I can have more effective communication with my customers, whether it's when I open my own diesel shop or if I'm working at a diesel shop.
I guess a follow-up to that is, if you're in a management position, how do you see yourself taking this to help others?
I would use this info to kind of help teach them how to have better conversations with the customers and helping them learn, like, if I'm in the office when they're taking a call and I notice something that they could improve on, I'll mention it to them and kind of explain to them ways that they could improve. What's up, BJ?
So what situation have you been in where you've utilized these things that you're discussing and going over the most and had the best outcome? Where you turned something that was awful into something that was amazing?
That would have to be at the pizza place I worked at in Deer Park. I had several times that the same customer would call in and complain about our delivery times. The thing is, he would always order on Fridays, which was our busiest night. So I would just answer it. I knew it was him immediately, so I'd just be like, "Hey, what? Thank you for calling Pizza Factory. What can I do for you?" And he mentioned how he placed an order online and it's taken an hour and a half to even get delivered. And I just explained to him, tonight's one of our busiest nights, so we are running a bit behind. We will get started on that as soon as I possibly can. And if he wanted to complain more, or if he asked to talk to one of my managers, I was good friends with my managers, let him know that this customer is calling in again, and the manager would immediately be like, F, and then, exactly, pretty much. There were a couple times that he actually did that. One more.
So, well, it's not a question, it's more like a story. One time I was working at my job, and I guess the people were like talking to some lady on the phone, trying to figure out what she wanted to order. And I guess someone in the back was laughing, so I asked for the manager, but I was just from worker, but I went over there and I went to see what's up. And I was trying to get them to like tell me what they wanted to order. But I guess they were just in that mood, so they're like, okay, we just gonna order it. Like 20 minutes later, her husband shows up, and he's like, "Are you the mother effer who was laughing on the phone being all sarcastic?"
Oh my gosh.
I was like 17 at that time. I was like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" And then like eventually I was like, "Bro, you're a punk. Just get on somewhere." He was trying to find me something. I was like, "You ain't nothing." He was like, "You ain't nothing." I was like, he was like, "If you gonna do something, how about you step behind the counter?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, punch a minor and let you go to jail."
Yeah, people are like that. I don't like people a lot. And yet I like working customer service. It's weird. All right, thank you. Yeah.
The other thing